What's going on, YouTubers? Happy 4th of July. And guess what? I have some super awesome news to share with you guys. We can do Telemed again. In this video, we're going to be talking about some recent changes in cannabis politics and some other important changes in the Cannadocs space, as well as some upcoming cool cannabis events. Make sure to watch till the end. Let's dive in. What's going on, y'all? This is Dr. Andreoni, aka the Cannabis Doc. So first things first, if this is your second or third time on my channel and you haven't subscribed yet,
damn, bro.
Guys, I'm sorry I've been MIA. I've been working on a ton of stuff behind the scenes that hopefully one day in the near future, you guys will be able to utilize, which I'll be introducing in another video. So let's get to it. Let's talk about the recent changes in cannabis politics. So I'm sure you guys have heard by now, but as of July 1st, existing medical marijuana patients can have their renewal evaluation via Telemed. And I say I'm sure you guys know by now because if you didn't see it, Trulieve did shoot out an email to its entire Florida patient base on June 28th saying this. Important update, telehealth for Florida patients. This House bill amends to allow a qualified physician to conduct an examination by telehealth for a patient's medical marijuana certification renewal if the physician previously conducted an in-person exam of the patient for the purpose of certification. This bill also authorizes the Department of Health to suspend a qualified physician's registration with the Medical Marijuana Use Registry for a period of up to 2 years if the physician fails to comply with the provisions of that statutory section or provides, advertises, or markets telehealth services before July 1st. And that's why you didn't hear anything about it from me until today. Sheesh. And if you take a look at this image here, it seems that the evaluation must be done with a virtual or a video call. Telehealth over the phone won't cut it. Audio-only telephone calls have been scratched out, and I'll tell you what, that wasn't me who scratched it out. I'm saying. So to be clear, for all my existing patients, I can now renew you guys all from home, all through Telemed. To future or prospective new patients or transfer patients, I still need you to physically come into the office for the evaluation the first time, and then after that, we're Gucci. I could just see you through Telehealth also. And it also talks about the licensing information for the black farmers who had recently applied for those licenses, which, if I'm interpreting this correctly, they are giving all those applicants a right to a license as long as they meet the requirements if there was any deficiencies, which is pretty cool. But I don't know, so don't quote me on this. I'll leave a link to the article in the description below. Out of everything that we're about to discuss today in these updates, the telehealth was probably the only good one. Everything else is, well, you'll see. All right, moving on. Next, DeSantis signs a bill prohibiting medical marijuana at Florida recovery residences, even if it's recommended by a medical marijuana doctor like myself. So DeSantis signed this bill on Tuesday, June 27th, and it's called Legislation SB 210, and it prohibits sober living facilities from allowing their residents to possess or use medical marijuana, even if the patient is certified by a medical marijuana physician to legally use cannabis therapeutically in accordance with state law. Yet all other doctor-prescribed medication is allowed. Now, this wouldn't be so bad in my opinion if this law didn't explicitly single out medical cannabis, but it does. This is kind of shitty, but I'm not surprised. We should all know by now DeSantis' stance on medical cannabis. If you don't know, he hates it. This article, which I'll leave in the description below, highlights that, as well as this recent video, which, by the way, I first found this video on the Instagram account Florida Trees News. Super funny. All the dispensaries hate him, but if you like that kind of humor, definitely check it out. All right, so let's take a look at this.
For a request for a couple of broken veterans with service-connected disease, illness, and injury. And we are saying, please, please, will you decriminalize marijuana in 2025?
I don't think we would do that, but I think what I've done in Florida is we have a medical program through our Constitution that the voters did. And so the veterans who are in those situations in Florida, you know, they're actually allowed access. It's very controversial because obviously there's some people that abuse it and are using it recreationally. But I will say this, nationally, or even on the local level, you know, this stuff is very powerful now that they're putting on the street. And when these kids do it, it's really bad for the youth. And I just think we have to be very united as a society. We want our kids to stay clear of drugs. And we don't want to do policies that's going to make it have easier access for them. You don't even know what they're putting in some of this stuff now because you have things like fentanyl.
Bro, I hate when he says this
that can wind up. And so if you do something with that, it could be good night right then and there.
How does medical cannabis have to do with fentanyl?
And you could die just by ingesting that. So I think that that's problematic. I think that we have...
God, he is such a tard. All right, so, but to continue, for the recovery residences that were kind of implementing cannabis or trying to, because I know it was a very gray area, now you can't. I'll leave a link to this article in the description below also. Oh, and this was interesting. I found this last week. This was an article published on June 20th. The title is Biden Admin Confirms Marijuana Descheduling Happening This Year. This article basically talks about that they're planning to deschedule cannabis apparently this year. Is it going to happen? No say. We'll see. There will be a link to that article in the description below also. All right, guys. So the next big thing that I want to discuss is that we're going to be implementing our new pricing soon. So yes, Cannabis Doctors of Florida, we are going to be having new pricing that's going to be going into effect very soon. New patient evaluations will now be $150 per 7-month Rex. The transfer fee is now going to be $100. If you want the allotment increase for the flower or the vape or all of it, there is a one-time fee of $50. We do this, one, because it's a pain in the ass for us to submit this, and two, this provides incentive for you not to go to another physician and to stay with me. Why would you leave anyway? Don't worry, existing patients are already locked in. And we're gonna have a pricing structure so where each time that you do come back and you do the discounts for us, eventually your renewal price will be worked back down to $100. And don't forget, we still are offering all those discounts and ways to save money, like leaving reviews on Google and Yelp, subscribing, and some other stuff. And every 3 patients that you refer, you get 25 off. These new prices will officially take effect August 1st, 2023, so be on the lookout for that. And then lastly, there are some pretty cool upcoming events in the cannabis space that I did want to share with you guys. First, we have Dab Day. It seems like it's the 10-year anniversary of Dab Day this July. It's actually happening on July 8th, so I believe this Saturday. Tickets can be found at 710dabday.com, and it's hosted by Freedom Town Holdings. They do have some pretty decent flower, which can be found at Fluent. All right, and then this next event is happening on July 11th. It's called Gastronomy Presents High Seas 23. There's a couple sponsors here, but the curator is going to be my girl Chris, and then my other girl Caro, the Cozy Caro, and by Crisp __. Shout out to you guys. Super cool people. Looking forward to what they're producing in the future. This should be a super fun event, and tickets can be found at Eventbrite. The links to all this stuff can also be found in the description. And guys, lastly, I do want to mention something really quick. Within my YouTube channel, I will be offering a membership-based program. If you decide to become a member, there's a lot of cool perks that you will unlock. I'm going to mention all this in a separate video shortly. Oh, I also want to mention, once I hit 3,000 subscribers, there will be another giveaway. So stay tuned for that. Turn on the notifications. Please subscribe if you haven't. To all my current subscribers, you guys are awesome. And with that, I'll see you next time.